My name is Danielle Davis. I am the Director of Technology Policy for the Joint Center for Political and Economic Studies. And today I'm talking a little bit about Beyond the Algorithm, Safeguarding Children in the Age of Character AI. So as a society, as a community, we talk a lot about child safety, and rightfully so, when we talk about these platforms that they interact with online. Because at the end of the day, when we think about so we put a lot of emphasis on child safety. We look at how we regulate these technologies. We look at how we regulate toys. We look at how we monitor content ratings, advocate for safeguards on social media platforms and their general privacy online. But when we think about how children are interfacing with AI technologies and their digital experiences, we also need to put greater emphasis on the parental aspect of these things and how parents are understanding these technologies to work with their children. Because at the end of the day, parents are the first and the most effective line of defense when it comes to technology safety online, especially. But parents can't necessarily regulate something in their homes that they themselves do not understand. So, okay, there we go. So the average parent may look at AI as, just some automation tool or an assistant or just an information tool. But we all know in this room that it's so much more than that. We have a new iteration of AI, the AI chatbots. And the AI chatbots are forming emotional bonds with users, essentially, especially your children. The AI chatbots are being designed not just to answer questions, but to engage with the users, to retain information about the user, and also build relationships with the user. So when Character AI's chatbot named Danny they fail to recognize when a 14-year-old is in distress on this platform, it's not necessarily because the AI is necessarily defective. The AI was doing exactly what it was trained to do. And what it was trained to do it was designed to hold a conversation. It was designed to generate responses. It was designed to optimize engagement. But what wasn't it designed to do? It wasn't designed to understand suffering. It wasn't designed to understand that child's suffering, recognize their distress, or redirect the conversation toward a human who could actually help that child. So this isn't just an isolated failure. This is an industry-wide problem, and the primary core of my talk today is aimed at AI literacy among adults, but I do think we have to touch on briefly just the responsibility of the AI platforms. Okay. The clicker's not. Okay. Because AI platforms must be held accountable for deploying technology capable of high-stakes emotional interaction without the necessary safeguards. Because AI should be trained to recognize distress in a child and to escalate that to a human for intervention. The AI should be able to state its limitations, something along the lines of, I'm not a human. I cannot help you with this. I cannot provide emotional support. Let me direct you to someone who can. And there should be stronger age restrictions and parental controls to prevent emotionally immersive interactions with minors. So in the case of the 14-year-old victim who committed suicide after engaging with Character AI's platform, Character AI failed on all of these fronts. But even with that, we have to recognize a hard truth that even if every one of those safeguards were actually in place, parental oversight and tech literacy among parents would still be very much so necessary. because AI, like I talked about earlier, is not just a tool. It's not just this automation device. It's not just this this thing that can be an assistant or spit out information to you. It is now interactive. It now interacts with your children, and it's an interactive influence that's happening with these technologies. So the question isn't anymore like whether or not the children are using AI. We already know the children are using AI. They're using AI chatbots, but the issue is, how are they using it? And do the parents know how they're using it? So a lot of children and teens are using it as a digital friend, a digital confidant. And AI chatbots in this context are replacing real-world interactions. AI chatbots are mimicking human relationships without accountability. And AI chatbots are learning from their younger users, adapting to reinforce engagement rather than the child's well-being. So because of this, teens and children are forming emotional dependencies on these technologies. And they're neither human, and they don't even have, in most cases, any type of ethical responsibility that they are bound to. So the issues now are evolving from whether the children have too much screen time or whether this is solely an online safety issue, to switching to talking about whether or not AI fundamentally is reshaping human relationships. And doing so, it's doing so faster than any of us can actually respond to. So even if AI companies fail to act fast enough, if government doesn't regulate in an adequate way, parents still can't afford to opt out of being knowledgeable in this area. So parents don't necessarily need to become AI engineers, but they definitely need to have a certain base of knowledge around AI literacy. So parents should definitely know that AI does not think or feel. AI cannot offer real emotional support. And AI models can reinforce biases and misinformation. And without this knowledge, without the parents knowing this, without the parents reinforcing this to the children may trust AI way more than they should. Okay. And parents don't need to know every line of code, but they should understand how chatbots generate responses. They should understand what engagement optimization means, and they need to understand why AI-generated interactions feel real. And it's not because the AI actually understands. It's because it mirrors human-like conversation patterns. So a parent who understands this can help their child set the boundaries between, the human relationships and their AI interactions. So in closing, AI platforms must do more. That's something that we can acknowledge. But at the end of the day, parents must take charge of their own understanding. Being AI literate is no longer optional. It's a foundational skill of modern parenting, full stop. And if we can't wait until the next tragedy happens. It could be your child next. You can't wait until this to take AI literacy seriously, because technology is constantly evolving. It's not stopping. It's not slowing down. But our responsibility to guide, educate, and protect our children does not change. So the last question I'm going to leave you with is, will we all act in enough time? Thank you.